basically we met with a VC, a really prestigious VC that was also an investor in a company in India called Inmobi.
Okay.
And they basically said, like, look, we think we talk to Inmobi. We think there's a good opportunity here for some synergies, for lack of a better word. And they ended up, kind of merging the two companies at the right time at the right place. And I ended up, merging my company with a unicorn in India. Yeah, it was a wild experience. I ended up doing
Whoa.
14 trips to India in
Oh,
2 years to integrate my team and my software into this unicorn that is actually about to IPO finally now. Congrats to all the Mobi folks out
heck
there.
yeah. Congrats.
So, yeah. And so, yeah, it was unicorn. It was the first unicorn ever in India.
So
And it was a
IPO
really cool
meaning like
experience.
initial public offering and like people can now buy stocks into your company.
So, unicorn meaning it had $1 billion valuation.
Sorry, IPO, initial
Yeah.
public offering.
IPO is meaning it's going to be on the stock market so people can buy the stock and
People can
invest
buy
into
stocks
it.
from your company now. And so this unicorn in India, which you made 14 trips, must have been really memorable because you remember the exact amount of times you went there. Each one probably had some crazy
Man, I
digestive tract
remember.
experience.
Yeah, I remember the first Skype call we had with their team. It was 9 o'clock at night in San Francisco. Olin and I were at the office still eating Thai, and they went straight into the call. They said, "Look, we want to buy you," and we were like,
Whoa.
"We're
You're
actually
finishing
trying to
up your
raise a
morsel
Series
like,
A right
what,
now." And
what?
it was a wild experience. And I called my wife, and I was like, "You're never gonna believe this," and she's like, okay. I'm like, I'm going to India next week. So yeah, we ended up going to India to negotiate the deal. It was actually a really painful experience. I don't know if I touch on the book. There was a couple drafts of the book where I had that chapter in there, and I don't actually remember if it made it or not. But I can talk a little bit about it now. They kind of lowballed us at first, and it was
Hmm.
a really painful experience, and we had to push really hard. Finally got a number that made a lot of sense to our investors and to us. And so made the deal happen. And yeah, man, it was, at the same time, I had my first son, my first child, Charlie. And so there was no paternity leave with an Indian company. And so I basically like was on the road in the first 2 years of him being alive, which really sucked. Uh,
Man, bummer. Wait, so you sold a company and part of the agreement was you're going to work for the company for 2 years at least, it seems like, as part of
yep.
the negotiation. Okay, I
Yeah,
understand.
so what they do what's typically called an earnout. They'll give you, well, a lot of times in these deals, they'll give you a third of your payout up front, and then a third of your payout after a year, and then another third of the payout after 2 years to
That
get you
makes
to
sense for
stay
them,
through.
right? Because then you have vested interest in it. You're going to make sure it's successful. They got almost 2 years out of it,
Mhm.
service out of it. Okay.
Yeah, and so while I was there, I launched the first ever native ads platform for mobile, and that's what got me recruited to Reddit. So Reddit was just kind of re-spinning out of Condé Nast. They got acquired by Condé Nast, the magazine publisher, really early on in their journey. But then Condé Nast realized they needed to spin this out and build a company with VCs and bring in some Silicon Valley talent. And so that's drew me to Reddit. Their CEO at the time was a guy named Yishan Wong, who I worked with at Facebook, and so he saw that I had some ads experience working in Mobi and delivering products there. And so he was like, we would love to have you join us and help us put some ads on Reddit, unfortunately for all the users.
Yeah.
But, we did it in a tasteful way.